This daf Yom Yerushalmi Terumos, and the article goes with the addition of Tafalam Babanal. There is a header. And then it goes Lo Tzurcha. In the Vilna, there is no header. It starts on the sixth line down on the Chaf Aleph. It's Lo Tzurcha the law. And we're going back, but the article header is useful. It's going on at the back of the Mishnah. Turn below, all of the other Echad Mishishim, Truma Vein Tzarech Litrom. To Truma, and 1/60th came up, even though you intended to give more, that's fine. You know, it's Truma, you don't take Truma over again. So on this, Gemara says, Lo Tzurcha Da, the law, this is not a question, this is what the Mishnah is Pasha. The law is like Da Ella. But rather, like we say, the Torah Vala B'Yoda Echad Mishishim, Truma Vein Tzarech Litrom, Kain Beis Shammai, Amin Torah B'Ala B'Yoda Echad Michamishim, Truma Vein Tzarech Litrom. This Beis Shammai says the same thing about 150. Now the 1/60th is like Beis Hillel. Beis Hillel is 1/60th, 1/50th, 1/40th. But according to Beis Shammai, we say 1/50th, 1/40th, 1/30th. That the same parameters apply, or does he hold that since he wanted to do Ayin Yofet and he didn't get Ayin Yofet, so therefore he can do it over again. It's a very strange question because why would Beis Shammai be different than Beis Hillel just because they're different shurim? If you went to the lowest level, still it's valid. If you did the lowest level, 150th according to Beis Shammai, it should be like 160th according to Beis Hillel. And but the evidence, the evidence is the right term. But if that's what came up, that's what came up. You don't have to do it over again. But evidently, the Gemara feels that since Beis Shammai is more machmir, so to speak, in that it requires, not so to speak, it's more machmir. It starts from 50th, it goes down to the 30th, up to 30th. Whereas Beis Shammai starts with a 60th and goes up to a 40th. So Beis Shammai is interested in the coin receiving more. So therefore, perhaps there's more of a reason according to Beis Shammai to say that if Ola B'Yodo only Echad Chamishim, he can do it over again because that is his perspective to give the coin more than Beis Hillel gives, and perhaps that allows us to do it over again. It's Lo Yishata. The question is not resolved in the Gemara. Omar Bechina Asi said, Lo Ta'i Bar Kapara El Torah B'Ola B'Yodo Mechamishim Ad Shishim Truma Ve'eno Tzarech Litrom. That so when we said that in the Mishnah Torah B'Ola B'Yodo Echad Mishishim, so Bar Kapara said in our Mishnah instead of Echad Mishishim Mechamishim Ad Shishim, and we don't say that which he added on the 60th is the din of Moisif, as we have a Maestros. No, it's not precise. It's I don't know, it's not really the terminology to use here, but between the 50th and the 60th, anything he takes is anything he takes off is fine. And the point is, and I'm not sure why this is such an important point, where I wrote telling tomorrow, I don't know why this is not Pashut. That don't think it goes in what's the word? In gradations of tens, right? 60, 50, 40. No, anywhere between 50 and 60. Presumably also anywhere between 30 and anywhere between 50, 60, presumably anywhere between 40, 50, but that's not what concerns us right now. So it's not specific gradations of 10, anything in the middle also. It's all truma, there's no part of it which has to be meiser. But because of Haisif, if we went back and did add Chayim Meisus, he is Chayim Meisus. Rabbi Yassi B'Shem Yochanan said, "His kam liftoras kiryo." This is talking about where he has in mind to exempt his kri. In other words, he wants to actually pater his kri with this afrosha, right? With the initial afrosha. He had in mind. So if the initial afrosha is for the entire kri. Then if he adds on, that second part is not true. Truma is chayiv and meisus. But the animus kavim, if he did not have in mind liftaras kiryo, then he didn't have. In other words, the beginning, you only wanted to pater part of the Kri and to be mashlim afterwards. It happened to be that when he picked it up in the beginning, since Truma was taken by Omed, he did take it off Truma to pater the entire Kri according to Ayin Ra. So I might say that he okay, that's it. Even though he had a mind to only take on half of the Kri, or part of the Kri, doesn't matter. He finished fixing it. What he asks, what he takes afterwards is not true. Truman's chayv masters. So Rabbi Yochanan says no. He can continue to take, and it's all considered to be one continuity because he had in mind the first only to be marvish on mixas Kri, and I feel achas al achas, even one. He can always even go to one measure of chulin versus one measure of truma. And that's just going like Rabbi Shmuel. It was going later next Mishnah Hay, actually, who says that when you're married with Truma, you can go up to a 1-to-1 ratio. I don't think we pass that way. I think we pass that you can go up to 99%. But in any event, we'll see when we get there. I might be wrong about that. So, there would be up. You can go all the way up, and all that's going to be valid Truma, up to 50% of the Kri. Kahana Amar, this is like a Lishna Achrina here, and Rav Kahana, who of course was only a Rav and not a Rabbi, so therefore he's called here Kahana by his first name. Amar Kamos Shehu Lamud. He said that Rabbi Yochanan didn't say that you could even make a 1-to-1 ratio on this case where all of the other Echem Mishishim, which is our the ratio, right? They can continue on afterwards because you had my only mitzvahs Kri. But he's saying going on the Sefer, where it says that that he got 161st. In other words, less than 60th. And that the Mishnah said he can go and take off Truma Kemo Shulamud, like as he's accustomed to say, as accustomed to do. Rabbi Yochanan Amar, on that case, it's anyway you have to go back. I don't really have to go back because the rice is Shumas Mashu, but since anyway, according to the minhag, that's considered to be too little, and you should be giving more. So then you can go all the way up to Achas Achas. Okay, but not if you already did 160 the first time. So the Gemara says, in that case, again, Rabbi Yochanan Amar feel Achas Achas. But Nina Kmoshu Lambert, so says, whoa. Didn't we say that it's Moshe Lamed? Where's this achas al achas come from, right? How can you do it to 50-50? Like in Shuma, it says just to go up to Moshe Lamed, like he normally does, 150th or 140th. 160th, even that matters. He's talking about 161st. So Shema Shlo Lamed, no less than that. In other words, that he'll add at least Akadeshu Lamed, and then you can add on top of that, even until Mechza. Rebbe says, no. Why I say Kamoshu Lamud? That's Bemida. He can even take up, now, when we mentioned this before, now he can take up as much as he needs to take off in order to get to what his Lamud with precision, by measure. He doesn't have to do Ba'omed. And that's like it says in the Mishnah itself, Shuma Bemida Mishka V'Mina. So that's what's going on, and but in Niskavin Lahosif Nami Afilu B'Mida, and if you have in mind to give more, so up to Mechza, you can even give B'Mida. In other words, Ad Kadeshu Lamud. Now you can do B'Mida, even more than that. You can do B'Mida in order to give. If you want to give mechza. Okay, so the Gemara says further. Rabbi Yonah Amar. Rabbi Yonah said, Rish Lakish, Bog, Rish Lakish, Boikum Rabbi Yochanan. He asked him, Tosefes Truma Mai. The Tosefes of Truma, when you add on to the Truma, what's the status? The Zechayim Mises or not. So he says, that which our Tana says that Chazav Hosi Chai Maisus, it's Das Yochid. How so? It says, actually, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't anticipate it. Tomorrow says, Ma L'chiyuv or Liptur. What's the Das Yochid? Is the Das Yochid the ratio? It says, Chazav Hosi Chai B'Maisrus, and Reish Lakish says if the halacha is like that counter or not, and that Rabbi Yochanan said no, it's a Shitas Yochid, or Liftor, the Sefer, which says only be other Mishishim Ve'echad, that from the Mishnah, from the Losha Mishnah, sounds like that im Chazav V'Toram is whatever he adds is not Chayv Maisus, and it's Truma Mamish. So which is the Shitas Yochid? The ratio, it says it's Chayv Maisus on what he adds, or the Sefer says it's not, it's Patur Maisus what he adds. If you're going to say that it's going on the ratio, and he's coming to tell us that this is the opinion of Rabbi Huda, and Chachamim argue and hold that the Tosefes is actually Truma Mamish, it's Patur from Maiser. Nicha, then we're fine with that, because you find Rabbi Huda differentiates between the Tosefes Truma and the prior Truma more than Chachamim. Well, how so? Because the very end of the Mishnah, it says that Rabbi Huda allows you to take off the additional amount Shalom and Amukov from somewhere else. So clearly, it's very different, and it's not true from the same Cree. So therefore, it seems to be much more different, this Tosefes Truma, than the original Truma. And the Kamarakim is also more explicitly from the Tosefta, where Rabbi Yehuda says, Tosefes Truma tells me not Tor ala Tome, take from Tor on Tome, but Einam Damas, it doesn't create Meduma, Bein Chayav Lev Chomesh, and you're not Chayav Chomesh on it either. So obviously it's not true Truma. So the, conversely, Chachamim, who argue and give the Tosefes Truma din Truma more than Rabbi Yehuda, and it has to be Min Abukov, etc. So perhaps in the ratio also, they give it din Truma to Pater from Meiser. Okay, that works out. But if you're going to say that Rabbi Yochanan is going to Sefer, the Mishnah says that Tosefes is exempt from Meiser. With the 161st. And Rabbi Yochanan said that's a Das Yochid. Mechayiv and Meiser, even when you start with 161st and then are adding on, and they take it out of Din Truma more than Rabbi Yehuda takes out of Din Truma. So Umay Rabbi Yehuda the Isla Shalom Min Amukov. If Rabbi Yehuda holds that you don't have to take Min Amukov, holds that you're potter, from taking off Meiser from the additional Truma. So it's case Rabbanan, the Leishu Shalom Min Amukov, he says can't do Shalom Amukov. Lo Kosh Case not a Kav Chomer that they will hold that it's potter from Meiser's. It's not 100% explicit in our Mishnah that, according to Rabbi Yehuda, in the case of 161st, that it's the Truma is not Chayv and Meiserus, but I guess that's the assumption that because he doesn't argue. So if he doesn't argue, therefore we have to say Kavu Chomer. If Rabbi Yehuda doesn't argue, holds that it's Truma, it's not Chayv and Meiserus. So Koshke and Rabbana. Okay. As Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Yasod says, Shem and Shlakish V'amar, the Tosefes Truma Chayv Meisus. The Tosefes Truma is Chayv Meisus. And this is even on the Sefer. And initially, he took off 161st. Rabbi Yossi said, Mishnah Amra Kain. There is a Mishnah, which you can learn that way, even though our Mishnah doesn't seem to say that way. Rabbi Zir, Rabbi Isi, Rabbi Zir said, Rabbi Isi, Haidam Masnisa. Which Mishnah? Lucky Bay didn't respond. Amalei Dilma Hadod Tina. So he said, no, maybe it's not what you learned. Taram Ba'ala Biyodo Echad Mishishim. No, our Mishnah. The Taram Ba'ala Biyodo the Echad Mishishim. Truma. Veino Tzarech Litrom. It's Truma. He doesn't have to take Truma. So it sounds like if he wants to add that the Tosefes does not have a din Truma, which is the ratio of our Mishnah, and it's a blanket statement. The blanket statement is that even what doesn't matter 160th or 161st. The Rabbi Zira obviously holds there's no Tzvartim Mechalik vis-a-vis this din, because even when 161st, but the entire the Kriya is already fixed. Chachamim required him to add. So when Chachamim required him to add, the Mistomas, the way Kabbalah explains, didn't go to be Mekel, the entire pattern from Maisus. Okay, says Gemara, Velo Tani Allah. So he says, that's no, the Gemara rejects it. It says no raya, because it says explicitly in the Mishnah. It's in the ratio Chazer b'Hoisi v'Chayav b'Maisus, which it doesn't say in the Sefer. So since it doesn't say it in Sefer, you cannot say that the Sefer is derived from the ratio. It's a ratio obviously has these additional words which don't appear in the Sefer and clearly distinguish between the ratio where the Chayav b'Maisus in the Sefer it's going to be Pater Mina Maisus. Okay, the Akama Adam Paiter Tivlo Dvar Torah. Somebody who's taking off Truma Midin Torah, not according to the Rabbanan Shir. What's the minimum? Yonasan Amar Echad may commit Trumas Meiser. That's be 1/100. Like Trumas Meiser, Truma G'day should be no worse than Trumas Meiser. So the Amalei B'Yachan said we man Shmaitzo. From you do this. Amalei B'Pilpul Chevraya Shamita. I didn't hear it as a Masorah, but it's a Svara which they send to Beis Medrash. Just like a Levi gives from his part Trumas Meiser, which is 1/100 of the coin. So the Yisrael, Midorai says give 1/100 to the coin. The Vei Rabbiane Amrei, I feel Echad Mi'elef, even 1/1000th. Amrei Monaran said, Yileis Kanshur, even a Mashu. So you've raised the Goncha, the beginning of your good dogon, I feel Koshu. Even a Koshu, and that actually is the way we pass him, Zman Hazeh. The Trumas not being given the coin to eat anyway, that although we still have to give Trumas Meiser 1/100th, Truma G'dayla is any Mashu, and that's why when a person takes off Trumas Manazeh, they take off Trumas Meiser, they take off a little bit more than 1/100th. 1/100 for Trumas Meiser, and a little bit more is the is for the Truma G'dayla. And that brings up to the beginning of Lachadalit, so we will stop here. And I'm signing off. Stop here for today.